Hello, everyone. Welcome to the conversation with Dr. Joan Coleman and friends. And I'm with my friend Rita
I'm Rita Reynolds, and you can find me on Instagram at the Reynolds Love.
and Megan.
Hi, Megan Price, Megan P129 on Insta.
Listen, every day we're learning something. Something is teaching us a lesson. Either we get the lesson or we don't, and then it repeats. Ladies, what lesson have you had to learn the hard way? Rita, what lesson had you had to learn the hard way?
Like that, you always not need to have an answer. That there's people that don't will give you answers, and you need to move on. And I learned that lesson in a very bad way, because I used to have a boyfriend like when I was young, and I lived with him in Argentina, and he dumped me, and he literally never say anything. I was thinking that I was okay with him, and he just disappeared. And I think it was a big impact on me, and then cost me. I was like, but I think like I learned that in a hard way. That some people don't will give you any answers, and you need to move on.
So he just left?
Yes, he don't say anything. He just like get mute, and then he don't answer my calls.
Saying anything? Do you think him not saying anything was a sign?
Well, no. I knew later with years that he have someone, but don't tell me, don't tell me, but alas, don't let me. But it was very traumatic, because I was in love, and it was this first person that I lived with.
Yeah.
And he just go with no reason. And after years, I remember I have a conversation with him, and then he told me that, and he was like very emotional, irresponsible. He say I'm sorry, but he say in that time he don't have like the guts to say, I met someone, and probably I was talking with her while I was living with you in Argentina,
Oh,
but he told me later.
Interested. Yeah. And so you learn later, maybe you don't need answers. You could just move on.
Oh.
Not awesome. Megan, what about you? What's the hardest lesson you had to learn?
Lesson to learn that you have to actually live by is to understand that people aren't out for your best interest. They're not.
That's my lesson.
As much as you think that you are out for theirs, and that you would never wrong someone, and you would intentionally hurt someone, like you actually genuinely care about somebody else, even a stranger. Not everybody is that. That is not a thing. Like, they are not out for your best interest. They are just out for themselves.
Megan, that's my lesson. That's what I was gonna say. People need people in. Yes.
People be people, and I like that. It's true.
That's the lesson I have learned the hard way. Just like you said, you give and you're kind, and you think they have your interest in heart, but they don't, and I learned that the hard way. But I'm so glad I learned it, I'm so glad it happened at a time that it did. And so that allowed me, like Rita said earlier, to be even freer, to be free, to be me. Okay, now I know that that's how people do. People be people in. Now I could be my authentic self and do me. Rita, what else have you learned the hard way?
That like always, you can in like in a relationship, I guess, like there's need to be like two people working together. Yes. Because if there's just one row the boat, you will get destroyed. So it needs to be two people like working.
You won't get to shore.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
If you row by himself, you won't get to shore.
Well, I learned that in the hard way, because like, you put something in a relationship, and the other person don't really care, and don't want to, work with you. So yeah, you learn that some people don't really want to, I don't know, resolve stuff. Or
I love the way you said it. Like, if one person the boat, man, you won't get to shore.
Yeah, it's like I would be like drowned at the end, and you would be like,
What about you? This is so funny. Go ahead, Megan.
I think another thing that I've learned the hard way would have to be in, how do I say it? I think that it would be like you can't take back words. I think that there are certain things that you can say that you can't unsay once they're out there, even if you like, you played off like, oh, I was just kidding, or, I was drunk, or I was in a bad mood, or whatever. Like, there are some things that once they are out into the universe, they are there forever.
Yeah. So it's kind of like think before you speak and make sure when you're talking that you're saying what you mean, because you can't take those words back. I think another lesson I've learned from being married for all these years is that you got to be careful how you talk to your spouse. Like you can't talk to a man like a child. Not that I did that, but sometimes I would slip and say something like, "What do you mean?" And you're like, "What do you mean what I mean?" And then it's be like something bigger than it needed to be. But that taught me that, even dealing with my husband, you have to make sure you're talking to a man like a man, right? Do you agree, ladies? You gotta talk to a man like a man, because
Yeah.
if you talk any other way, they're not gonna like it. So that's a lesson that I learned as far as couples, as far as a couple thing. So listen, guys, watching, if you've learned a lesson throughout your life or last month or last week, put it in the comment box and we'll get back to you. We'll talk to you about it, And while you're commenting, like, share, tell somebody about the conversation. And we have a conversation Facebook page. Yes, we do. So you could be a part of the conversation Facebook page. Join us, and of course, we'll welcome you with open arms and hugs and all that stuff. All right. Megan, any last lessons, any last tips you want to give?
I say just be forgiving and
Your thing went mush, 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 mush.
just said to be forgiving and be thankful for others.
Be forgiving and thoughtful of others. Rita, what's your last tip?
Yeah, like always, like be honest, like be like very emotional, responsible for whatever you do or your decision.
I love it. And you know what? Mine is going to be treat people like you want to be treated. If you treat people like you want to be treated, I bet you'll treat everybody good, right? I know you would.
Yeah.
Listen, I am Dr. Joan Coleman, and this is The Conversation. And I'm with these beautiful ladies. Megan, tell them who you are.
Megan Price, Megan P129 on Insta.
And Rita.
Rita Reynolds, the Reynolds Love on Instagram.
And this is The Conversation. We'll see you next time. Bye.